All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the holiday end of the year Southern Fried DNN User Group meeting where we put together an end of the year party. We will start off the meeting as we normally do, talking about DNN topics, community issues, and recent goings on. Do a little bit of news and updates, but then we will switch gears and finish the year as we have for the past several years by playing a DNN themed game show. We have done DNN Jeopardy a couple of years in a row and at a couple of different events. Very recently, we ended up working out DNN $10,000 Pyramid. And at the DNN Summit this past year, we hatched the idea of playing something where we could have a larger group interact, have a little more fun in the relaxed and always fun format of DNN Family Feud. So we're going to be seeing what survey says in just a moment and throwing some of those questions, those answers up on the board and seeing how well our two families compete and answer those questions. We're proud tonight to have 10-Pound Gorilla joining us as the first family. So we'll be introducing those members here in just a moment. And then representing Southern Fried is our So Fried Peanut Gallery. Some of our favorites and usuals making DNN user group meetings, participating as family number 2. But before, as we get into the beginning steps of the meeting, we always start off with community news and community information. I will mention that we have DNN Summit coming up right around the corner. It is December. Before we know it, we're going to blink and it's going to be February, and we're going to be in the next DNN Summit event. And what we have tomorrow is the deadline for early bird sign up. So if you are planning on attending the virtual DNN Summit conference and want to lock in that discounted rate, then you should go ahead and purchase your tickets tonight, purchase your tickets tomorrow, because after this, they'll go up to the standard rate. And it does that normally every year, right in the halfway point of December. So this is your chance to do a little bit of savings, especially if you have to add in 2 or 3 employees within your company. It's a great opportunity to have some savings there. Other news regarding DNN Summit is that the speakers and the sessions have been chosen for a little while now. Cassidy and Mitch are working to finalize those things and promote and publish them. So that is also right around the corner. Let's see. I can't quite see the list of people. David, you want to mention anything, or is Mark on for mentioning anything else? DNN Summit?
Nothing for DNN Summit. I got something for DNN Connect. I put in chat for you.
Let's do that, because DNN Connect was just going on right now. You want me to hit the LinkedIn feed?
That's just one announcement for it, yeah. But the conference is not, but this is like the most important announcement of them all. So, you know, for those going, it's the one that really matters.
All I see is the word bar, and I'm like, I get it.
That's right.
Oh, this is the only thing that matters. Are you sponsoring the keg? Are you sponsoring the bar? That is fantastic.
There you go. Had to get a plug in there.
Bar. Absolutely. That is absolutely fantastic. So what's the plan, David? Does this mean that it's tickets based and you're going to hold the tickets and you'll be the most popular man of the hour as everyone comes back for more tickets? Or are you just sitting next to the cash register and you're going to be on tap so that everyone else can stay on tap?
I don't think I'll be able to remember to be able to answer that question, Ryan. I'll be busy drinking at the MV Quick Bar.
All right. That is that is fantastic. Any other DNN Connect news you want to mention as because it is you're right around the corner.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in sponsoring, this is kind of thing that they're doing is trying to kind of up their game a bit on the sponsorship side of things. And there's a lot of options that haven't been there in the past. You still have time to get in on the fun like we did, and can do that. I think they're not announcing, like, you know, what the what the price of the event is going to be until sponsors kind of all come in, and they know a little bit more about it. But they're trying to get some more sponsors that aren't just the usual, sponsors that they normally go with. 'Cause, in the past, there's been a bit of a dependence on DNN Corp and so forth being a title sponsor. So just all trying to kind of fill in the gap there a little bit. So if you're interested in doing that, be sure to go out there and check out the sponsorship packages. Yeah, if you go to dnn-connect.org, you should be able to click on the event and see the sponsorship packages. There's a PDF out there, but I think can't remember what the cutoff date is on that, but it's pretty soon. So check it out as soon as you can.
Absolutely. All right. Then otherwise in DNN community news, is it too old news to mention that we have 9.13 release?
No, not too old at
No,
all.
that
Just
would be
happened.
fresh.
Yeah, just
How
happened.
about Daniel or David? Do you want to chime in with a little bit on that? Daniel, perhaps?
Yeah, so 9.13.1 has been released. It's there. It fixes a couple minor bugs. It's a small release versus 9.13.0. It's yeah, mainly bug fixes, a couple documentation updates for better APIs to use and stuff that's going to get deprecated later. It doesn't remove anything. It doesn't really provide new features. It's a regular little bug fix release. Pretty safe to upgrade to.
Little cleanup release.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, we're kind of wrapping up the year, and so things somewhat slow down in the beginning of December as I think everyone focuses on businesses and clients and things to wrap up for the end of the year. So I think I noticed normally that the blogs slow down and the postings slow down until we hit Christmas. Then everyone gets a few days off and they drum up something interesting to do. Anything else from the folks who are joining us here tonight? Any new DNN community news that you want to make a shout out to, or a call out, or things that you community side that we've missed and we should mention?
Yeah, Ryan, scroll up just a little bit on your blog there, if you would, and check out that one there. Just posted that recently. If you have not seen this video or this poem that Tiho Deward wrote, this is a blog post on that, and there's a video down there with the compilation from last year's DNN Connect there. But it's a neat little poem that Tiho wrote, and we turned it into a video piece there. But check that out. It's quite fun.
What a neat thing!
It's also on the homepage of the site. So
yeah, that is excellent. That is excellent. I don't know that the video would transfer well over the meeting shared with everyone else. So be sure to.
Yeah, it will. If you just go to your view options on there, share sound.
Do you want me to go ahead and click it? Let's give it a try.
Well, no, you have to share your sound first. If you go into your view options there for the screen you're sharing, you should be able to see a share sound option there. It's not very long either, so.
Yeah, I just don't know where the setting is for sharing sound. Share sound. Bingo.
A DNN community poem, Tiho Deward. In the realm of code and lines, where innovation brightly shines, there exists a vibrant domain where minds unite, the DNN terrain. A community strong and true, bound by a passion, a common view. Developers, architects, and designers, dreamers, problem solvers, and fine aligners. In this digital world, they gather round, sharing knowledge, ideas profound. Through forums and discussions, they connect. A web of collaboration, intellect intersect. They weave together lines of code, building websites, pushing the mode. With DNN, the canvas vast. They sculpt and shape a vision steadfast. From simple blogs to enterprise scale, they craft experiences they never fail. Extensions, modules, and themes they share, enhancing the platform with utmost care. With every pull request, they strive to improve, to refine, and to revive. Bug fixes, optimizations galore. The DNN community soars and explores. They celebrate the open source, embracing freedom without remorse. A collective effort, a united force. DNN community, a beacon, a source. Oh, the DNN community, a tapestry grand, woven by talents united in hand. With every line of code they sow, an ever-growing ecosystem shall grow. So raise your keyboards, let us proclaim the DNN community a cherished name. For in their unity we find delight, a community shining forever bright.
David, that was excellent. Excellently put together. That was awesome. All right. Well, with that behind us, I think we close out our DNN community notes and updates. Unless anyone else has anything else to add, I'll pause for just a second. All right. I will stop my screen share. Let's go play the feud. Jeff, if you'll go ahead and share your screen, I will show you the one-click to for the share sound button, and we'll get this started. All right, folks. Tonight, we are going to kick off our DNN Family Feud night. We have two families joining us here today to play the feud. We have coming in centered and home in Colorado, we have 10-Pound Gorilla. With 10-Pound Gorilla tonight, we have Mark Saunders, Laura Pearson, Chris Beeling, Dustin Peterson. And on the other side, family number 2, we have our So Fried Peanut Gallery. We have Daniel Valadas, Alessandra Davies Daniels, Don Gingold, and Steve Karpik. All right, as they say at the beginning of the Family Feud, let's go play the feud. Let me have number 1 and actually the number 1 seats from each family. That's going to be Mark Saunders starting off and Daniel Valadas on the other side. Let's play the feud. Go ahead and click start round 1. There we go. We got the music coming over?
We don't have buttons.
So how do we do the button thing? Are we just yelling out the answers?
Yeah, I will describe. There is a modification. Didn't end up having any sound come over. Do you have sound on your side of play or not? Well, we do have the fun, sound of Family Feud that was in the testing rounds. We'll see if we can get it back here in just a moment. But if not, we've got the format of the game, no problem. The way the feud works here in this online version is that each person who comes up to play does not have a buzzer. You normally have a buzzer that you slap to go ahead and answer first. So it says only the presenter can share sound, and yes, Jeff's should have the sound on it, but we'll move on. With the Family Feud, with the 2 people who are up, the way it's going to begin is that we're going to have you flip a coin, or I'm flipping a coin, and you're going to choose heads or tails. So we've got Mark, and we have Daniel that you can choose heads or tails. I'm going to flip a coin. One of you is going to go first, and the person with the highest answer, their team gets the choice of either playing or passing, and the person with the lower choice or the lower question is the secondary person. And after that, we don't have to flip a coin. We'll be doing it with the team that is in the rear that will get to go first and do the first question. As the Family Feud goes, we asked 100 people the top questions, and they gave us their answer. So we put in many of these rounds the top 6 to 8 answers up on the board so that we can see if our contestants tonight can get answers to all of these. So Mark and Daniel, let's go ahead and Flip a
Hey,
coin.
Ryan,
We
let
have to
me
fix the audio.
interrupt here real quick because we got to fix this audio. Jeff may want to mute while you're talking, unless he, when he needs to talk, he can unmute, but you're breaking up because it's coming through both mics.
I thought it
You
was my
guys are in the
phone that
same
was
room?
doing that.
Yeah, and it's kind of there's a bit of echo, which is less
Yeah, so it's trying
noticeable
to
when
mute
it's
them
one
out.
person. Yeah.
You'd think all these tech people on this call that we could get this right. I mean.
I was judging a little bit there, but
Anyone technical around here?
if it's front
So-
end, I can help you.
While we're waiting, Alexandra, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I was not aware.
Yes, we just eloped. Went to
Yeah.
Vegas, had the deed done. Elvis Presley married us, and here we are.
I thought maybe you were in witness protection and you just had to change your name.
Well, it is very possible that I forgot that I should not perhaps join the Family Feud.
All right.
Oops.
Yeah, the HDMI had hijacked the audio, so we now have that squared away.
Awesome.
So we should have less audio echo now, right?
Yes.
We're still missing our music, but we'll move on from there. Mark, go ahead and make a pick. Is it heads or tails for you?
Tails.
All right, heads it was. So Fry family number 2. Daniel Vladis, you're going to answer the very first question first, and we'll see
Okay.
who gets the highest answer. Daniel, you'll go first, and then we'll have Mark. Let's go ahead and bring that question up on the screen, and we will go. Name an element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN. Name an element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN. Daniel.
Roles.
No.
Roles. All right, let's see. Survey says roles.
Probably not.
No. Hey, that sound on that time. That's good. All right. So not to roles. Okay, Mark, your chance here. What do you have? An element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN.
In context editing, I don't know what it would be, what people would say, but being able to edit on the page.
That's what I had in mind, but didn't know how to phrase it.
I don't know either. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what people would call it, but
Let's
agree, though.
call it content editing on screen or no back end. Let's see. Judges, what do we think?
I agree with what's in that script.
come on.
All right.
Come
what
on.
that does is that sends it to our number 2 people. So let me have Laura and Alessandra ready to answer. Alessandra, you would be going next. So we're trying to get the game to go over to one family or the other to continue forward. So Alessandra, name an element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN.
That uses a Windows server.
How many other CMSs do you know use a Windows server? Is that a unique answer?
I really don't know. Is there any other?
Windows server,
Everything else is
Doug.
the PHP stuff.
No.
All right. Nothing there. Okay. Laura, what do you think? You're gonna have an answer for us that's up here on the board. What's your suggestion? An element of the DNN CMS that's unique to DNN.
The DDR menu.
The DDR mega menu. The DDR mega menu. What do we think, judges? Is that up on the list? Wow, we're gonna bring it to our whole group on.
This is not a very good start to say.
Wait,
Well, I
did
will
you,
tell that
can we know who the 100 people were that you surveyed? Was it
I can tell you that
some other CMS user or was it DNN
We're gonna
user?
have to have words with these people, eh?
they were
I'm
DNN
just impressed you
users,
got the
and I can
100.
say that they're thinking of things that are unique to DNN, elements that you won't find in WordPress or Joomla or Sitefront, or a number of other CMSs. These are unique things. They're unique to DNN, and there's some pretty good answers. All right, so we're going to go to our third level of people. We're going to have Chris and Dawn ready to go. I believe that it would be Dawn that's next up. Dawn, let's see if you can bring this home for the DNN Southern Fried group. Name an element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN.
How about a super user?
A host or a super user? Is host up there?
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'll tell you, it was in the answers, but if only one or two people made that as an answer, it didn't make it up on the board because we have our top 6 answers on the board. So that might have been answer number 10 or 11, but it wasn't in the top 6 answers. So here we go. Chris, what do you think? You are up for something that is unique to DNN, something that you see on screen that you wouldn't see if you log into WordPress.
On screen, let's go with the DNN logo then.
The DNN logo.
That's awesome.
Oh, come on.
You did say on screen.
I don't know what happens if nobody gets it. This doesn't happen to Steve Harvey, y'all. This is not a normal thing for the feud. Okay. We've got
These 100 users know DNN?
We have Steve and Dustin ready to go as our next answers, and we're going to see what we got. And if we exhaust this, we will flip over the board and we will continue on to our next question because it'll only get better as we go. So, Steve, what do you think? You have a chance here for SoFry, and then after that, Dustin has a chance for 10 pounds. So, Steve, what do you say? What's an element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique to DNN?
How about the persona bar?
How about the persona bar? Survey says number one answer. Thank goodness. Number one answer. Now we've all exhausted a number of different questions, but it does finally go over to one side. Family SoFry has control of the board, and we now get to go through and go for those next answers. So thank you, Steve, for bringing it back. With 4 of us on that team, it goes back now to Daniel as a person here. Daniel, what do you think? What's another element of the DNN CMS that you think of as unique that you might think made it onto the survey?
So now that I had some time, I can do something more intelligent. Multiple portals?
Portals.
That's pretty unique.
Good. What do we say?
That's a good one.
Survey says portals and site groups. All right.
That was going to be my.
That's very nice. Okay. Well done, Daniel. Alessandra, pressure on you. Can you keep us coming home here?
Okay. I'll say content pane.
Content panes. Content panes. Panes and containers. Absolutely. Panes and containers made it up onto the list. All right. Dawn, we're back around to you now. What do you think? What's another element that you might put up on the board here?
Oh gosh. Front-end programming.
Front-end programming. All right. That's your first X as the family having it. So we have 2 more X's that we can go through before the other team gets a chance to steal. Remember, the way the stealing works is if they answer one question right, or they get one answer up on the board, they steal and they get all the points. So you want to be careful and try and get those last 3 on the board yourself. So that was Dawn. What do we got? Steve, your next round, or your next turn. What do you think is up on the board there that we haven't uncovered yet?
Oh, .NET.
.NET. Do we have .NET up on the board? We do not. Be careful here with your next answer then, Daniel. It comes back to you. You've got a chance to answer. If you get it wrong and it's not up on the board, then 10 pound is going to have the chance to steal. So 10 pound, be thinking what your answer would be if you get a chance to steal. So Daniel, what do we say?
I am going to go with prompt.
Prompt. The prompt version of being able to do DOS prompt style editing and access to DNN, I would say that is pretty unique to DNN. Did it make it up on the board? Survey says? No. Third X. Okay. We get to go over to you, Mark Saunders, 10-pound gorilla. We want to hear what you say about a chance to steal. And so this is a group decision. So Mark, before you make a choice, Laura, what do you think? What might be one of those 3 items still up on the board, Laura?
I'm gonna say modules.
You're gonna say what?
Modules.
Modules. That's a pretty good sound. Okay. Chris, what do you say?
Oh, there's more than one. I'll go with community here. Let's go with that.
Community. Oh, that's a good answer too. Oh,
Yes.
already. No, what format wise, what we're going to do is bring it back up to Mark, and then Mark would choose which
But
one
that's
he-
okay.
We were,
Because that's what we were gonna, that was what I was going with anyway,
yeah,
Ryan,
yeah.
so we're good.
Well,
yeah,
there you go, Mark.
Chris
Either
just got
way,
to steal my thunder.
you guys stole it because that is definitely what was up on the board. Let's go ahead and award those points to 10-pound gorilla.
Woo!
10-pound gorilla leads our very first long
Yeah,
round.
whatever.
There is no
28
justice.
points. Now that we've
Thievery.
assigned those, let's see what else was up on the board. Let's unroll our number 5. What was that? And this is the part where everyone says the word sequel console. All right, number 2,
Sequel console.
extensibility. That made it up on our list. So we have gone through the very first round, and now we have 10-pound gorilla in the lead with 28 points. That means as we join for the start of round 2, we will have Daniel and the SoFri team pick first, and actually it'll start with the second person. So Alessandra gets to go up and answer first this next question, and we will have Laura as well leading from the 10-pound side. But Alessandra, you get to answer first. So our second round question is, name something that you have to Much better, much better. Name something that you have to explain or teach a client about using DNN. Something that you have to explain about DNN, or you have to teach to a client about using DNN. What do you say, Alessandra? What do you think's up on the board?
How to, let me see, how to add your logo.
How to add a logo. How to add a logo, set up the logo in a
Yeah.
DNN site. Let's see if they made it up on the board. Survey says?
What?
All right, 10-pound. Laura, what do you think? Survey says, asked 100 people answered. Let's see what made it up on the top here. We have the top 7 answers. So what do we think? Something that you have to explain about DNN or teach a client about using DNN for the first time.
How to add a module to a page.
Adding a module onto a page. That sounds like a pretty good one. Did it make it up on the board? All right, modules and working with modules on the board. Definitely made it. That means the questions go over to 10-pound. And Chris, we'll go ahead and begin with you then. What do you say? What else might have made it up on the board is something you have to teach a client about DNN?
How to get into edit mode.
Getting into edit mode. All right, survey says
Yes.
view versus edit mode. That is an excellent one. Did make it up onto the survey. All right, Dustin, what do you say next?
how about add a page? How to
Adding
add-
a page, setting up pages and tabs. That's a pretty good one. What do we say? Survey says? No. All right, it's your first strike. Not a bad problem. Mark's been listening and thinking all along of what he's going to answer. What do you say, Mark?
How about security? How to role-based, how the security works.
You know what? Be specific there and decide what you're going to say. Are you saying about security of the platform? Are you saying about roles and how they work? What do you?
No,
what do you-
user roles, users and
User
roles.
Let's go with user roles. Roles and permissions. The number 2 answer. Now we are cooking. All right, Laura, it's back to you. What do you say? We've got 4 more answers up on the board. Do you have one of them?
How to log in.
Log in. You do have to teach people how to log in. Let's see. Did we make it up on the board, judges? Log in. No. All right. Well, we have one more miss that we can make. Otherwise, SoFry gets the chance to pull 26 points. So Chris, back over to you again. What do you think? We've got 4 more left up on the board.
Let's go with logging in. How to log in.
Wait, technically Laura said logging in as well. So let's do
did you?
another different thing. Yep.
Let's go with managing users.
Managing users? Hey, we do have users and management. All right, fantastic. I didn't even remember if that one was up there from what I set up. Fantastic. Okay. Well then, let's bring it back to Dustin. You can see what we have here with our last 3. What do you think?
How to use the version history to restore or go back.
I like
recycle bin.
Version history.
Recycle bin, version history.
Rolling back with the version history. We have to explain that all the time. And that's also a unique element to DNN as well. Let's see. Did that make it up on our survey? I say no. There we go. It was very close, but I don't think we got the version history of modules. So Southern Fried, you have a chance to steal. You can take away 30 points if you get one of the remaining 3 answers. So I'm going to ask the question again. We're going to let 3 of you describe it, and then it's going to come back to Daniel. And Daniel, you're going to choose what you go with as a team. So as part of the discussion, name something that you have to explain or teach to a client about using DNN. What are you thinking, Alessandra? What might be your teams?
Change the theme.
Changing a theme. That's from Alessandra. What do you say, Steve?
Yeah, I would have gone with that. Yeah, applying the theme.
Something theme related. All right, Dawn, how about you?
I have the same thing.
Theme. Oh,
great
Daniel,
minds.
you've got
If it's
theme
not
for
there.
numbers.
Well, I'm not
What do
gonna
you
go
think?
with the family here.
You're
Oh,
gonna go with the family.
I think the first thing I would teach a client is how to create a page.
Ooh, creating a page. So you can strike out on your own and you're gonna create a page. Is that right? All right.
Yeah.
Let's see it. What do we got? Survey says. You know what? Working with panes and creating a page. The judges are going to give you that.
Okay.
So Fry steps away.
Now,
with-
come
Yay!
on.
What does pains mean?
Can we file a formal protest?
Working with panes and adding items in. It is a holiday party, and we are working with a PowerPoint-based game system, which is a bit inflexible. So we're going to go with judges' final run, like the NFL before there were instant replays. So
means
we'll give
nothing
those
to me.
points. We'll give those points to SoFry, and we will get started with our round 3.
Wait, what were the other answers?
You know what? We left without saying what the other answers were too. We will we'll pick that back up on the next one. Now you want to give me one more of the other 2 answers? The persona bar. The persona bar was one of them. The CK editor was the other one. And how to work with
CK
modules.
edit. Okay.
CK editor was the other one. That is right.
I will
All
not
right.
allow that as question.
We go into round 3, and let's see if we get music this time around, or how it is as we start. We have our top 6 answers up on the board. Because Southern Fried won the last round, that means 10-Pound Gorilla gets to choose first. So they're going to have an answer first to this question. So here we go with our next question. What's a feature or module in DNN that you use the most? What's the feature or module in DNN that you use the most? What do you say, 10-Pound Gorilla? I believe that we are at Chris starting off this round. What do you say?
So I'll go with Too Sexy.
Too Sexy, the module you feature or module in DNN that you use the most. 10-Pound Gorilla says Too Sexy. All right, the number 2 answer on the board, that's a very high. Southern Fried, to take this round, you would need to have the number 1 answer to be above them. What do you say is a feature or module in DNN that you use the most? And this goes to Don Gingold.
The HTML module.
HTML module is the number 1 answer. So Southern Fried takes this one and can run this board to start off with. Dawn, since you ran, that means the very first round inside now goes to Steve. Steve, with 4 more up on the board, what do you think's up there?
Oh, no. I don't use anything but those 2. Oh, Lord. Oh, I don't. I gotta strike out.
What's a feature or a module in DNN that you use the most? Yeah, we'll go ahead and start the timer so that you can be thinking of something. 4 seconds left on the clock.
Oh,
All right, so that is our first X, and from Steve it goes back up to Daniel. Daniel, what do you say? What's a module or a feature in DNN that you use the most? We've got 4 more up on the board here.
I'd say installing an extension. The extensions module.
Installing extensions. That's something, a feature of DNN that you use the most. What do we say, judges? No, that's our second X. We've got 1 more. Alessandra, pressure's on you. Can you keep it? Can we save it? What do you think is a feature or module that you use the most?
Okay, easy DNN modules. Oh, news. Easy DNN news.
Maybe news articles. I'd give it any of those. What do we got here?
What? That's the one that I use more in that order.
32 points. And it does mention features, not just modules. So we think specifically just modules. 10 pounds really, you got a chance to steal here for round 3. 32 points would go to you. Actually, the addition of the answer as well. So at least 32 points go to you if you can steal. It is going to be your choice there. Laura, this time, you get to hear your family's ideas, and then you get to make a call. So Chris, what do you think might be up on the board? Let's do some discussion. A module or a feature that people use the most? Chris, you're on mute. There you go.
I'm struggling here. I'm going to go with permissions.
Permissions. Something about permissions or roles, maybe. That's a good suggestion for Laura to consider. Dustin, what do you say?
Adding a module to the page.
Modules and pages, features and things you use the most. Mark, what do you throw in there?
I think it's security and roles, edit roles, adding security.
You use the most
management
in their roles or permissions type of thing. Laura, what do you think? Well, how do you want to phrase that? What are you going to put up on the board? Something your family has suggested, or something that you feel strongly about?
I would probably say adding a page.
Something that you use the most is pages and adding pages. Let's go ahead and see. Do we have it? Survey up on the board? So Laura, specifically, you're going with what? Pages. Pages and adding pages. Page management is up on the board. That means 10 pound gets to steal. You take 36 points away. We'll add those in there. Let's see what other questions were up on the board. Number 5 was forms and lists. Number 4, roles and authorization. That's what Mark had said. Number 3, Xmod Pro. All right.
Oh, self-promotion is not allowed in this game. Okay.
I'm neither one of those people.
What? Oh, no.
Hey, Too Sexy made it up on the list, and Xmod Pro did as well. Very nice.
But he's not here pumping it.
All right. Well, then that's a pretty good round as we come to round 4. We're going into a similar question, but in the opposite direction this time. Let's see if we got music as we bring up this this question. There were only 4 answers that made it up onto the board here. That means that out of 100 people's answers, the majority of them were all unique, different answers. They were not matches of at least 3 or 4 people saying the same thing, which was very interesting. So our number 4 round question is, what's a module or feature of DNN that you rarely use in projects? This is the opposite to our previous round. These are modules or features of DNN that you rarely ever use. So what do you think in our survey poll of people made the answers up there on the list? So because 10 pounds stole that last round, that means SoFry gets to answer first. And at this point, I believe it is Dawn Gingold who gets the first chance to answer. So Dawn, what do you think? What is a feature or a module that people use the least?
I had the last one. So do you want me to go again?
Oh,
or do
did
you
I?
Steve?
I lost track then. We're at number 4. Steve, then you're first.
Well, I'll say maybe a shopping cart.
Dodged a bullet.
Shopping cart or e-commerce? Let's see. Shopping cart or e-commerce? Is it up on the board? No, did not make the list of our top. It is a little harder since there are only 4 answers. All right, 10-pound gorilla. That means Dustin. You get to make a choice here. What do you think might be up on the board?
The
Timer is
page
started.
level CSS settings.
CSS settings or
Page
theme
level CSS.
level CSS settings. Do we have themes or CSS settings up on the list? All right. It is anyone's game to pull this round now at this point. We're going to go back around again since this was Steve and Dustin going in there. Let's then bring it back up to Daniel and Mark. So Daniel and Mark, what do we have here as your suggestions? Daniel first. Something that people
I am thinking
they use the least.
import-export.
Import-export, is it on the list? Number 2 answer, survey says import-export is on the list of the self-reported least used or fewest used elements in DNN. All right, then what else do we have then going to Alessandra next?
Okay, I'm gonna say the social modules.
Social or theme modules. So I'm sorry, the social or
Like the activity journal that comes with already
all
kind
right,
of
you're gonna have to
installed.
be very specific then. Give us the name of something. The judges went ahead and gave you journal because you did say the word journal.
I did say journal, yeah, because for me it's like, why is this page doing here? No, ain't nobody. Don't try to be Facebook. It ain't gonna be it. So never mind.
All right. So Dawn, back over to you. We got 2 more answers up on the board. What do you think you can name one of those?
The member directory module.
Member directory module. Do we have member directory up on the board? Nope, did not make.
Nobody remembered to put that on the list because nobody ever uses it.
Steve, what do you say? You got one to add into the list?
The admin log.
Admin log. Survey says. All right, we're getting very close to having 10-pound a chance to steal. So 10-pound is going to be thinking of their answers. But we know that since Steve, you just had that one, he comes back around to Daniel. Daniel, surely you've got one of these. What do you think?
I am thinking site groups.
Site groups or multi-portals? Site group or multi-portal? Do we have it? Portals, multi-portals, and site groups is on the list. Okay, we've got one more to close out this round. Let's see, Alessandra, it goes back to you. Do you think you have one of these last answers on the board?
Yeah, I'm between 2 and here, but I'm gonna go with the calendar module, the default the core calendar module.
The events module?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, the events module. Let's see. Do we have events module on the board? Oh no! Wow, well earned. Got 3 of these items. We only have 1 left. That means that 10-pound gorilla has a chance now to decide something that they can do to steal. Chris, this is going to come to you. Or Chris, did you get the last steal? No, I think it comes to you.
I couldn't tell you.
I think
He
it comes.
wants it.
Chris, you're going to make a call, but let's see what suggestions you have from your team. Dustin, what do you suggest?
Multiple languages.
Languages. That's a good one. Languages. How about you, Mark? What do you say? Might be up there.
I agree with Dustin. I think languages.
Languages. Laura, what do you recommend?
I agree with that too.
All right, Chris, what are you going to do? You want to go for what the family's suggesting, or do you strike out on your own? You got something else to put up there?
I'm with them. The languages.
All right, let's see if 10-pound gorilla can steal here. Is languages on the board? No. Okay.
I think in the US it's not, but
was
if
a
you're in
good one.
Europe and others, yeah.
At that point, the original team keeps their points. So let's go ahead and assign the points to
Hey.
And then once we've assigned those points, let's see what was the last answer up on the board.
Oh.
Forum. The forum
Okay.
module. People self-report that forums are less used now than they used to be. All right. Let's go back to our round and see what is next. All right. Pretty good round so far. We're pretty tight game here. 60, we're all in the 60s. We have a few rounds left. We do have a sudden death, which gives a chance for one team to jump far ahead of the others. So here at this point, we're going to go into round number 5. So let's start and see if we got music. No music. I'll take it. All right. 10-pound gorilla and so fry. We have our next question ready to go. Answering this one because we're at number 5, it's going to go back to Mark and Daniel. And because SoFry got the points last, Mark, that means you get to answer first. So consider this next question. Name something that a client asks you to change in an old website. Name something that a client asks you to change in an old website. We asked 100 people. Mark, what do you think is up on the board?
Content.
Content. Is content up on the board? Content is on the board. All right. 10 pounds takes this roll, this round. So we get to go next to Laura. What do you say is up on the board here, Laura?
Their password.
Password. Change their password, change their login. Do we see password? There's not up on the board. All right, no problem. Chris, what do you think is maybe in the answers that people put up there?
Let's go copyright date.
Copyright date, footer content, copyright date. Do we see copyright date? Not specifically copyright date. Okay. Southern Fried, you're going to be thinking of what you can throw in there to steal this this board because you get a chance to answer if they get one more wrong. So name something that a client asks you to change in an old website. All right, Chris, what do you say?
I'm going again. I just went.
Oh, sorry, Dustin. What do you say?
Save me, Dustin.
Dustin, you're still on mute.
Sorry, I was on mute. The logo file.
Logo. Let's
logo.
see the logo, the image, the logo. What do we got? Board images. We will take it with images. The judges gave you a point there for images. So we continue and we live on for one more round of questions. SoFry is still right there. They can answer or steal the board if we get one more wrong. So what do we say? We're moving this one back around now to Mark. Name something that a client asks you to change in an old website.
The look and feel, theme, colors.
The theme, the look and feel. We have theme. Style and theme, the number 1 answer up on the board. That's an excellent one. All right, Laura, that comes to you. You got 2 more up on the board, the number 2 and the number 5 answer. What do you think is up there?
The version.
Version of DNN, maybe a version upgrade. Do we have upgrade? We do have upgrade. We've got one more question to fill out this round. It goes to you, Chris. You get to name the number 2 on the board. Do you have it? What is your suggestion for something you change in an old website?
Let's go with the email address for contact forms.
Email address and contact. Contact or email address information. Do we have it? Oh no. This is a valuable round to win. SoFry gets the chance. If they name that number 2 item, then they steal. If they don't get it, then it remains with 10-Pound Gorilla. So Southern Fried, let's see what we think here. I believe then, just from the rounds, it starts with Steve. Steve, you're going to be the one who is going to make the final decision on this wording of your number 2 choice there, the number 2 item on the board. But you got to hear from your family. What do you say, Daniel? What do you advise Steve should say?
I'm thinking like responsiveness. Like make this responsive.
Make it responsive. Make it mobile responsive. All right, Alessandro, what's your recommendation?
I'd say add SEO.
SEO, maybe something SEO related. Okay. What do you say, Don?
Change who the administrator is.
Change who can log in and change things. Change who the administrator is. Steve, those are very good choices.
Good Lord, but there's no uniformity there at all. No agreement.
No,
I think I could go with Alessandra.
Do you want to pick your own? What do you think?
I'll go with Alessandra's SEO.
Alessandra's SEO. Is SEO up on the board? Survey says no. Oh, 10-Pound retains the score. Let's go ahead and give those points to 10-Pound. And 102 now, crossing over the 100 mark. What do we have up there as number 2? Mobile responsiveness.
Ah, Daniel, you had it.
Okay.
Should have some compliance as well.
We go into, oh yeah, that would be good. We go into our next round, and we have some fun with our question. Let's see if we got sound when we start this one up. All right. We have 8 answers up on the board. This was a very popular question. When we asked this, there were many common, similar answers. We were able to get 8 top 8 answers by those surveyed. And our question for this round is, when something goes wrong on a website, what or who is most often to receive the blame? So, when something goes wrong on a website, what or who's most often to receive the blame? Since 10-Pound won that last round, we get to have SoFry answer first. And because this is number 6, that means, Alessandra, you get to make the first response. What do you say? You've got 8 possibilities to get up there on the board. What's something that goes, when something goes wrong on a website, what or who's the most to receive blame?
I would say server down.
The server or
Server's down.
Server. Is the survey up there? Survey says the server or the host is the number 3 answer. That is excellent. 10-Pound, you have a chance to steal and take the round. But let's see what you've got up there. And this will go to Laura first. What do you say, Laura? Do you have number 1 and number 2?
Jokingly, I'd say Mark, but seriously, the developer.
A developer. Is the developer on the list? Top number 1 answer, the developer.
It's always a little bit between the chair and the screen.
All right. Well then, as it goes over to 10-Pound, and Laura was the one who brought it over there. Chris, you're next up. What do you put on the board? What do you say?
Oh boy, I'm gonna go with a module vendor. There's a bug that we're relying on that vendor to fix.
The person who built that piece of code or that piece of item. Do we have module vendor up there? No. All right. Well then, Dustin, your chance is up next. What do you say? Who's the next most common to receive blame when something goes wrong in a website? What do you say, Dustin?
The client.
The client. Do we see clients up on the board? Great answer. The user or the client? Pebcac, right? All right. That was a good answer. We have 5 more still up on the board here. Mark, what do you say? Your chance. You're muted. You're still muted, Mark. You're funny, but you're muted. There we go.
Funny looking or funny?
It was hilarious.
I'm gonna say,
or who is supposed to receive blame when something goes wrong on a website?
I'm gonna say DNN itself.
Ooh, that hurts.
I know, but clients are saying it.
DNN or the system?
I never.
Hey,
Oh, come
we
on.
checked our survey respondents. None of them threw DNN under the bus. All right. But Mark was the one to receive blame earlier. So that must be your answer, right? If it goes to it was Mark's fault, Mark says, nope, it's DNN's fault. Okay.
I blame the core team.
All right. No one said Cassidy, huh? So none of them said that it's Cassidy's fault? Okay.
They're afraid of Cassidy.
Laura, we're back around to you. When something goes wrong on a website, what or who's most often to receive the blame? We got 5 answers. You have one of them?
Their browser or their cache.
Browser. Is the browser up there? Survey says number 4, 5, 6, 7 answers.
IE.
Or IE. Very good answer. Very good.
Specifically.
Chris, what do you say? You got another one to add to the list?
Oh, upgrades got to be up there, right?
Upgrades. Something went wrong in the upgrades. Is it up there? No. Southern Fried, you have a chance to steal. You've got 4 opportunities, 4 words up on the board for what or who's the most often to receive blame when something goes wrong on a website. At this point, that is 4 and 2. So this is Alessandra's chance to kind of make a decision here. And we're going to have, no, wait.
Oh, I have to decide. Okay. Sheesh.
So, Daniel, do you have a recommendation for Alessandra?
Cache. Did you clear your cache? How many times did you reboot?
How many times did you reboot? Did you clear your cache? What do you say, Don?
The theme?
The theme, the skin. It was Alessandra's fault. Okay. Steve, what do you say?
Bugs.
Bugs. Alessandra, some good answers there. What do you think you want to go with?
Bugs is very generic. I was gonna say database problems. But now I think bugs covers more bases because it goes bugs.
So you're gonna go with bugs. Is bugs up on the list? Is that on the board? Survey says
Yay!
Bugs and gremlins. Sure thing. All right. All right. So Southern Fried, that means that you stole the answer. That means the points are here going to Southern Fried. 34 points go over to So Fry. Let's put those, and let's see what else was up on the board. A hacker. The next person to blame is a hacker. Who else is up on the board? A webmaster. Number 2 answer. What do people say? Me.
I said
They
that.
are not. It was me. I broke the interwebs.
That's right. All right. All right. We are a little further apart in our scores, but it's really still anybody's game because as we get to the end, there's a chance to dramatically increase. Also, the further we move in the game, the points double on the answers. So we'll start having bigger spread in those points awarded. So as we go into the round 7, let's see if we got music and then we'll say the answer or the question. I feel like it's going to come. Okay, we got some music. We got some sound. Okay. Number 7 round. Since SoFry took those points, that means that 10-Pound Gorilla, you get to choose first. And it also means that we're going to have Chris, you get to be the person who names this first. So I ask you the question. What's the first thing you do on a brand new DNN install? What's the first thing that you do or perform on a brand new DNN install? Chris.
When was this survey completed? Was this before?
It is this year, since February.
Since February. We'll go with change our host password.
Host password. Do we see host password or let's call it security? Is security up on the board? No, host password and security is not up on the board. All right, so Fry, that gives you a chance to call this one. And this was number 3, so that means it goes to you, Dawn. What do you say?
I would have said that one too, but since it's a survey of a bunch of people, install your theme.
Theme. Work on the theme. Is theme up there? The theme or the skin is our number 4 answer. That means that SoFri gets to continue answering questions here. So let's go next to Steve. You get to answer this question. What's the first thing you do on a brand new DNN install? What do you say, Steve?
Oh, God. Change the auto upgrade to false.
Auto upgrade to false. I know what you're talking about in the web config so that it doesn't auto upgrade if someone hits it while you're doing some things. So web config settings or auto upgrade to false. Is it on the board? Let's call it site settings. All right. The judges give that to you. That's pretty good. Good job there. Daniel, you have your chance next. What do you say? First thing you do in a DNN instance.
And the survey was recent. I will go with disable pop-ups.
Disable pop-ups. Wow, that is one of the items that made it up on the survey. And I was a little surprised at the number of people who said the same thing there. That disable pop-ups was one of the first things they do on a DNN instance.
I thought that was a default.
Alessandro, well, you get the
Disabled.
What do you say, Alessandro? What is the next thing you would say is...
Well, now I'm in a doubt because I was going to say the first thing that I really usually do is to change the logo, but then say set site settings, which is where you change the logo.
What do you want to go with, Alessandro? You have...
Change the logo.
Change the logo. Change the logo. Is that up on the board, survey says? Not on the board. I thought it could have been. That was a pretty good answer. It is site settings, yes. All right, so at this point we have 2 X's. There's a chance for, no, that's just the first X. Okay, so then Don, it's back to you. What do you say?
Well, the first thing I do is get rid of all those DNN, all the DNN content on the homepage. So maybe that.
So content, do we have content up on the board? Content is on the board. Well done. That was our number 5, 6, 7 answer there. Steve, you have a chance to pick one of the last 4 that's up on the board. What do you say? What do you think's up there?
Apply a style to the website or theme.
Well, we have theme, and we already answered. So I'm going to ask you to choose something different.
Do a backup.
Do a backup. Is backup. Is that a good idea? Do people do that? The answer is backup. People do that at the very first thing in a DNN instance. That's a good, smart thing to do. We got 3 more up on the board. It's come back around to Daniel. What do you think, Daniel? You got number 1, 2, or 3?
Set up email.
Set up email. Is email up on the board? No, email is not up on the board. All right, Alessandra, pressure's on. If you miss this one, 10 pound gets a chance to steal. They have to be thinking of their answers. You've got to pick number 1, number 2, or number 3, Alessandra. What's the first thing you do on a brand new DNN install?
I'd say change the copyright.
Change the copyright or the footer. What's one of the things that we said for the other thing? All right, let's see. What do we got here? No, not on the list. 10 pound gorilla, you got 3 healthy choices.
What do people do?
3 answers. What's the first thing you do on a brand new DNN install? And this is number 7, so that's 4, 3. That means Chris, you're the one who's going to make the answer here. And Mark, what do you tell Chris he should give a try to? Mark's on mute.
I think install modules.
Install modules. That sounds pretty good. Laura, what do you suggest?
You know, I was thinking install modules too.
Modules. Dustin, what do you think?
I'm for that too. Install modules.
Chris, you get to choose what they're suggesting, or you get to strike out on your own. Where are you going to go?
Well, you can't do much without modules, so we'll do install modules.
Install modules. Survey says the number 2 answer, install extensions. That's fantastic. Let's award those points.
What were the first and third?
And let's see, what do we have for the third? Users and authentication. What do we have as the first answer that everyone said? Menus and pages. We had menus and pages first off. We did not have
Don't disagree. I just disagree with the order.
David says pray in the chat.
Yeah, David just made me laugh.
That's nice.
Good one.
I think that might be David for the win.
All right, let's go into round 8 and see what we got here. These are our last 2 rounds, and the points are doubled. That means that the people who win these can really steal the game away very quickly. These are our last 2 questions that we asked to the group, aside from sudden death if we end up using it. So here we go. Our question is, name something found on a web developer's desk. Name something found on a web developer's desk. Those last set of points went to 10-Pound Gorilla. So Fry, you're going to get a chance to answer this question first. And as this is the 8th, that means Steve, you're going to get a chance to answer this and take the board here for Fry. Name something that's found on a web developer's desk.
Coffee.
Coffee. Is coffee up on the board? Number 1 answer, coffee mug. That is fantastic. 10-Pound can't even steal the question away because you got the number 1 answer. So we'll continue with Southern Fried. Daniel, what do you say? What's on a developer's desk?
A rubber ducky.
A rubber ducky. Number 3 answer up on the board. Rubber duck. Everybody who's got a rubber duck, put it up on your camera. You have a rubber duck with a beanie hat. That's pretty darn unique. Here, I'll bring my camera or my. Jeremy, can you show your
Alexandria, don't you have like 100 behind you?
Look at that.
I am missing the actual duck, but I have these here.
You have Pops. You got a big duck over there, says Alessandra. As we are going to have this show watched by folks who are, perhaps not regulars. David Poindexter, do you want to come on audio for just a second and explain why a developer might have a rubber duck on their desk?
Well, a great technique is to talk to your rubber duck. And as you talk to your rubber duck about the problem that you are incurring, you might just give yourself the answer to the problem.
That is right.
And I have 2 here in my case, one to tell me when I'm wrong and one to tell me when everything is okay.
Hey, Daniel, do those bobbleheads actually...
When is a yes man?
Do those bubble? They move? Those bubble bobbleheads?
Yeah, the heads move.
But not, they don't bobble us.
Some of them are bubbles, some of them are not.
That's
Yep. All right. Well, rubber duck was our number 3 answer up on the board. That was an excellent answer. So, Alessandra, it's your turn next. Name something that's found on a web developer's desk.
I would say more than one monitor, more than one screen.
Monitors. Do we have monitors on a desk?
What? You have to have at least 2, or else are you really a developer?
But didn't make the top 7 answers up on the board. That's only 1 X though, not a problem. Don, what do you say is on a web developer's desk?
Oh, gee, a mouse.
A mouse. A mouse. Do we have a mouse on the a mouse or a keyboard? All right, our number 2 answer.
But not monitors. Okay.
Steve. Steve is not a cat. Steve, what is on a web developer's desk? You got four items up on the board. Pretty healthy chance.
Junk food, you know.
Junk food, snacks, junk food. Oh, we did not have snacks or junk food. Good suggestion though.
What healthy people answer this? I don't know.
Daniel, you've got a shot here. Let's avoid that X. What do you say? 4 more items up there. You have one of them. What's something you should find on a web developer's desk?
I'm thinking a pad and paper, something to jot down notes.
Notepads, paper, something to write on. Notebook. A notebook is up there. Very good. We live for another question. Alessandra, it's coming back around to you. You've got 3 answers up on the board. Can you name one of them?
Let's say your smartphone.
Your phone. Phone on your desk. That sounds pretty reasonable. All right, service.
I swear, what people answer? No, they're only aliens. No.
Our third question missed.
Thank you.
Mark, we're bringing it over to 10-pound gorilla to steal. This is a pretty valuable round at 92 points at this point. So we're going to bring it around because this is number 8. That means, Dustin, that you are going to be the one to make the choice here. So let's get some inputs from Mark, Laura, and Chris. Mark, what do you think should be up there?
Something like headphones, music, headphones.
Headphones, audio. That's a good suggestion. What do you say, Laura?
Well, in my house, there's always a cat on my desk or a cat.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you know what? We were in a SoFri meeting a few months back, and all of our cats came on screen. Daniel had a cat. I went and picked up a cat. Alessandra, I think, had a cat. We all brought our cats on screen. So that's a pretty good answer. Chris, what do you say?
Let's go with computer. Pretty generic, but it's not up there yet.
You know what? Keyboard and mouse is up there. It seems reasonable. Dustin, what do you want to say? Oh, we jumped the gun, but computer.
Well, I was gonna say music and speaker or headphones, music, speakers.
Well, we gave you computer. So that means that 10-pound took the round. So let's give those points to 10-pound, and then we will check what those other ones were. All right. So 10-pound's taking the lead with 244. What was our number 6 answer? Toys. Toys on a web developer's desk. Number 4 answer? Post-it. Wow. So different from notebook, Post-it notes was also on the list.
With passwords.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into our number 9 round, and we will see if Southern Fried can catch back up. There's still, oh. We have 6 answers on the board. Let's go ahead and start that question. Name something that you shouldn't do when your boss or client is nearby. Name something that you shouldn't do when your boss or your client is nearby. 10-pound took those points from the last round. So that means so far you get to go first, and this is the 9th. So at this point, we're back around to Daniel. You lead. What is the answer you want to give there, Daniel, for something you shouldn't do when your boss or your client is nearby?
Checking social media?
Checking social media. Survey says number 5 answer up on the board. That's a pretty good start. There are 4 answers ahead of it. If 10-pound gorilla has one of those, then they will take this round to continue. What do you say? Number 9, this means it's back to Mark. Mark, what do you think this is? Something you shouldn't do when your boss or your client is nearby.
Browsing online, shopping, doing things that you're not, browsing, shopping online.
Online shopping and browsing. Is it up on the board? Okay. That means that the board control stays with Southern Fried. Daniel answered first. So Alessandra, you get to see. Do you have one of these 5 answers here for something you shouldn't do when your boss or your client is nearby?
I have this one. It's something that I do frequently, but David doesn't know about it. Take a nap.
Take a nap. Is nap up on the board? Nap or sleep is number 2 answer up on the board. All right. Clearly something you shouldn't do when your boss is nearby. Then after Alessandra, it comes to you. Dawn, what do you think? What should you not do when your boss or your client is nearby?
Play video games.
Play video games. Are games up on the board? The first X.
Oh.
I never do that anyway.
Steve, what do you say?
Oh, criticize their vision or something like that.
Are we going to say criticize or complain? Is criticize or complain up there?
Hey.
You know, complain was up there, so I rephrased it for you. We got it continuing. So we've got complain up on the board. We've got 3 more answers. Let's see. Daniel, it's back around to you. Do you think you have one of those 3 answers? Our top number 1 is still up on the board and available. What's something you shouldn't do when a boss or client is nearby?
To connect with the previous one of what's the first answer every developer has on the table, putting cognac in your coffee.
Drinking or drinking on the job. Okay, I like that one. Is drinking on the job up there?
Oh.
It is not. Okay, so very careful here. 10-pound has a chance to steal. They're only 1 question or a wrong answer away. It goes back to Alessandra, but surely, Alessandra, you've got one of these 3. The top 1 answer is still on the board. A lot of people said this one answer. Maybe you will too. What's something that you shouldn't do when your boss or client is nearby?
It's so hard because I never do anything and my boss would not approve. It's like, I'm gonna say something because sometimes, very, very rarely, I hear that, interrupt people when they're talking.
Interrupt.
If it's wrong, David, you'll never will be able to complain about this again.
Interrupt. Interrupt on the board. Let's see. Alessandra says interrupt. No, interrupt is not on the board. That gives.
I am happy because now everybody knows that is not true. You actually can do that.
Alessandra has it now passed over to 10-pound gorilla. This is number 9. Therefore, Mark, you're going to make the choice. You're going to make the choice on what is gone with. Laura, what do you tell him? What should he say?
I was thinking maybe using inappropriate language or swearing.
Swearing, cursing, inappropriate language. That's a nice suggestion. Chris, what do you suggest that Mark should do?
I'm thinking swearing as well. Don't have a potty mouth.
Dustin, what about you?
Boss.
Okay.
Watching movies, TV.
Ooh, watching movies, TV, doing something else entirely different. Mark, those are 2 pretty good answers. You going to go with one of those? You going to go with something of your own? What do you say? What's something you shouldn't do when your boss or client is nearby?
Yeah, they're all good. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say swear. Bad words.
Swearing. It's swearing up on the board. Survey says swearing and cussing is up on the board. You take this round, so let's award those points to 10-pound. I believe that's going to put them in the lead. There we go. We've pushed it over 300 points. That is the level for Family Feud to make them go into the final. Let's go ahead and see what our number 6 and our number 1 was. Number 6. Gossip. All right, number 1 answer was
Number 1. Wow.
How many people?
Number 1 answer up on the board.
Who took the survey?
All right.
So we all work remote. We can do one right now.
All right. Super fast money now. Let's go ahead and put that, and we'll first mark on how fast money works. we are setting up the board. Fast Money is a different format of round at the very end of Family Feud. In this, we're going to take the two people from the winning team, and we're going to see if they can match each other in the responses that they give. And we're going to see if those match the answers that our survey respondents gave. So we have a question. I'll mention the question in just a moment. But first off, from your team, Mark, who's going to play Fast Money round here at the end? We need two people. Who's going to play?
I'm going to give everyone a chance to volunteer. I'm afraid if I pick Chris, he'll cry.
Put me in, coach.
Rob. You just put him in.
Do I have any volunteers?
Yeah, Chris says put him in.
Laura, you want to volunteer?
Chris and Laura are going to play Fast Money. The way this is going to work, here's the deal. Here's the way this is going to work. Mark, you have perhaps Laura's cell phone number. You're able to text her?
Sure.
Okay, here's the deal. Laura, you're going to go second. Chris is going to go first. But the way this works, it's not as fancy as some of the other electronic games we play. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to mute the speakers on your computer, and we're going to ask you to leave the room. And Chris is going to go first. He's going to name his responses for Fast Money, and then we're going to see what his responses were. And then when Mark texts you, you're going to come back in the room. You're going to turn on the speakers. It's not muting your microphone. You're going to turn off your speakers so that you can't hear all of us laughing and talking about the responses that Chris says. You'll come back in the room, and then we will have you see if you can name the same things that Chris named for this particular question. So with that, let's go ahead and have, those instructions make sense, Laura? Good deal. All right, let's have you go ahead and mute the microphone, mute the speakers and leave the room. And Mark, you're prepared that you can text her.
I can text her.
Yep. Yeah, we could have done a blindfold. We could have done some things like that, but it's just easier. Leave the room, go pet the cat for a few minutes. Now, Chris, we're going to have you give the answers first. We're going to set 20 seconds on the clock, and you're going to name 5 answers. You're going to name your top 5 answers for this question. Your goal is to think of the question and the answers that the respondents will have picked as their top answers. You want to be picking the most popular things as answers to this question. And then based on the answers that the respondents gave, you're going to earn points for this.
Okay.
We will have the judges write down your answers, and we'll need a moment or two to put them up on the board, and then we can reveal the points for them. So judges, are you ready to begin? Yep. All right, Chris, if you're ready to begin, we're going to start the countdown when I finish the sentence. So
okay.
Here is our question. If DNN was an animal, what animal would it be? 20 seconds up on the clock.
Oh boy. Let's go with a Yeti. Let's go with a gorilla, of course. Oh no. We'll go with a lion, a cat, and a dog.
Okay, so that is your answers were a Yeti, a gorilla, a lion, a cat, and a dog. Those are some pretty solid answers.
We don't have Yeti and a gorilla up there. I'm going to be upset.
You'd be upset. Well, we're going to put those up on the board, and we're going to show you what we got here in just a second. So click on input window. Yep, there you go. Yeah, the complexity of this game is a little bit harder to run than Jeopardy. Jeopardy's one person, one thing. It takes 3 people to run this game. So it's a little bit more clicking and typing and prepping, but a lot of fun and a lot of good questions. All right. So we have Yeti up on the board. Was your first response. Did we have any points for Yeti? Yes, we had 5 points for Yeti. That means it made it onto our survey responses. What was your number 2? Gorilla? Gorilla. What was the answers for gorilla? Anybody gorilla? No one for gorilla. What was next? Cat. Lion. Do we have lion up there? We did not have lion up there. What else? Cat. Did we have cat up there? No, for a cat. What is our last one? A dog. Is DNN loyal like a dog? No, we did not have. We have a Yeti up on the board with a strong 5. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and click to clear the board. That'll black bring Laura back into the room. So Laura, she can come back in, and we're gonna do the process again and see what we got.
She's on her way in.
She's coming back.
She was never seen.
Come on down. Oh no, that's another game. Come on down was another game.
There she is.
The Price is
She
Right.
got busy talking to the rubber duck. So
Yeah. She's getting advice from the rubber duck, or she was petting the cat. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
All right. Chris went through. He put his 5 answers up on the board for this question. We're going to give you the same 20 seconds to answer. The timer will begin. When we finish the question. So go ahead and click yes there or whatever. All right. So click yes, Jeff.
Okay, it said the second player facing away from the board so they cannot see the first player.
Yes, we already did that part. Revealing the answers.
No.
Sorry, hold on a second.
No.
You're right. So Laura, let's go ahead and ask you this question and we'll do our own countdown. No, Laura, it's okay. Come back. Here we go. I misunderstood the way it was. Jeff was right. Should go with the judges every time. You're right. Okay, so here is your question. We'll put 20 seconds on our own timer and we will see what you got here. Ooh.
Don't look.
Well, I tell you what, there's only one of those that had an answer. There was only one of those that had an answer, so let's see if you can do better than that. If DNN was an animal, Laura, what animal would it be? Let's see your top 5 answers. What do you got? If DNN was an animal, what animal would it be?
A turtle or a tortoise.
A turtle or a tortoise? I like that. What else?
A bird.
Bird? DNN
A
is like
snail.
Okay, wait, a snail. Did you say a snail?
Yes.
Because it has a hard shell and it's impervious to attack. Hopefully not because it's painfully slow. All right.
Escargot. It's fancy.
What's the 4th one up there?
A fish, a frog, a llama.
A llama. Wait, you have fish, frog, or llama? Which one are you going to go to for your last 2 there? Hey, there's your cat.
Okay. Let's go with a llama.
Llama. LLAMA. All right. So we've got a turtle, a bird, a snail, a fish, and a llama as your answers. Let's see if you did better than Chris did. Chris got one of our top answers up there. Let's see if Laura's got a turtle, a bird, a snail, a fish, or a llama as our items up there. So what do we got? Tortoise. Tortoise. Do we have tortoise up on the board? Ooh, we did not have turtle or tortoise up on the board. How about a bird? Is bird next? Bird. Whoa. All right. We have a snail. A snail was the next thing you said. Do we have a snail up there? No, we don't have a snail. Wow. A fish. Do we have a fish? No, we have a llama. Okay. Do we have a llama? No, we do not have a llama. All right. Last one. A fish. Oh! Well, I tell you what, this one isn't set up the same way. Our top answers for points were number 6 answer was eagle. Number 5 answer was octopus. A DNN 8 octopus. Our number 4 answer was a unicorn or a phoenix, a mythical creature. A number 3 answer up on the board was a platypus, made up of lots of different parts. Our number 2 answer was a Yeti. And our top number 1 answer for if DNN was an animal, what animal would it be? It was a chameleon. It was a chameleon. Go ahead and click the end game button there. I think we get music into it. Oh. All right. Well, thank you everyone for playing our first game of DNN Family Feud. I think that went well and everyone had some fun. We got stumped by a couple of questions and answers. We also had a lot of fun answering things that were very commonly answered and had a lot of fun stealing points and rounds back and forth from each other. At this point, even though they didn't have more points to add to the list off of the fast money, 10-pound gorilla was our winner for the evening. So let's give a round of applause for family number 1 for pulling it out and stealing those answers away as many times as they did. Southern Fried Peanut Gallery did a fantastic job as usual. We had some fun, cheers and clapping all around. Well, thank you very much, everyone. That is the end of our party here for the night. We finish the year every year with a little bit of fun. And we'll get back to work and get back to serious DNN community tips, tricks, suggestions, improvements, updates, and information as we start off the new year in 2024 in just a few more days. If you are watching this at home or afterwards on replay, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us and for spending the time with us through our DNN Family Feud game. If you have suggestions for games we might play in the future, if you have suggestions for speakers or for presentations that you'd like to see Southern Fried tackle in 2024, this would be a great time to send us an email, drop us a note on Discord or on Slack, and let's help wrangle in those module developers or thinkers and movers and shakers in the DNN community to come in and talk. We'd love to hear your suggestions on what you'd like to see for some added content and speakers next year for 2024. Let's please thank 10-pound gorilla again. We talked with Cassidy and she voluntold some of her best crew to come and join us here tonight. Thank you again, 10-pound gorilla, for joining us. Thank you all of our players, Southern Fried. David, I'll check with you before we sign off for the night. Anything else you want to add in for the end of the year?
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
We have something to add.
Sound
Ryan.
like Santa.
Mark, what do you want to say?
Something to add.
Absolutely, go for that.
Ryan, we have to add that as a team that Yeti is really the only choice. So we're not sure who you surveyed for that question.
Yeah.
The number 1, but
we
Yeti
need names and
clearly...
we need to have some conversation with those people that answer this.
I like the DNN Yeti was on there. I also gave good credit that Octopus was on there from our DNN 8 Octopus. If you remember from previous DNN conventions, Ron Miles, our DNN troubadour, saying to us about how DNN is like an octopus. And I thought that was very nice to have it show up on there. All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone. We'll go ahead and stop the recording here for the night. And we'll say that we'll see you next on the 3rd Thursday in January, ahead of Southern Fried, ahead of DNN Summit. And we'll be talking about prep and information for DNN Summit at the least. Thanks, everyone. Have a happy New Year.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.